I need to put a thumbtack right here to hold this fucking shit up. Fuck. Alright. I mean, what to do, everybody? It's your boy Kshotem and all that. We got a little topic for today, you feel me? That boy Lucky from Woodstock, you feel me? Went and disrespected the whole race, you feel me? On his podcast talking about African booty scratcher and shit. That's crazy, fool. Like, it's crazy, fool, that you go on your shit and start, you know what I mean, disrespecting, you know what I mean? That's crazy work, doggy. That's fucking crazy, dog. And then to try to say it came from a movie, like, come on, dog. Like, it didn't come from a movie. I mean, it did come from a movie, right? But it's like you used it in a racist terminology, in a racist remark way. You feel me? Because if anybody watched the little clip and shit, old girl was like, you feel me? Oh no, you good, you straight. But old boy, you know what I mean, had a racist remark and stuff like that. He went and said, African booty scratcher, but like he only said it because old girl was like, oh, Blueface is kind of hot right now. And I think she really meant just like him as an artist. I don't think she meant him as a person type shit. And then, what I mean, that's when he felt offended. He felt jealous that, and then he's like, oh, so you think he's a good looking dude? And he kind of started to like, get jealous, it looked like, you know what I mean? And he basically just disrespected a whole race. And yeah, you could try to say like, oh, it came from a movie, okay. But the way you're using the terminology is the way you using it. And see, Lucky, he's somebody that, he's supposed to be like a cholo from a Mexican gang and all this shit, right? So it's like he be wearing Jordans and all these things, trying to basically look like something he not, you know what I mean? So it's kind of weird how you're gonna go and disrespect people, but they allowed you to be within the space of hip hop, and actually have a little voice out here type shit, you feel me? And he's kind of, what I mean, like he don't realize that, like I said, Hispanics barely got accepted within the culture and hip hop and all these different things, right? So for you to come out and just straight up flat disrespect, because what he don't know, I guess, is black people have, been accepting, you know, Hispanics into hip hop for the longest time, you know what I mean? Like they've been trying to break that barrier. And for people to break it, and then you got clowns like Lucky to come out and try to just be having a more racial platform, you know what I mean? Only being about Hispanics and Southsiders and shit like that. Like you don't have no other views on shit, you know what I mean? Like that's just weird, you feel me? So I just look at it like a Southside, D rider, you know what I mean? It's like, brother, like, so because he made that remark, they a couple people, different people from the black community, they had made videos talking about like, let's line up that fade, you know what I mean, because you being real disrespectful on your podcast type shit, and now he's using it to just disrespect, you know what I mean, a whole race in the sense of like out of jealousy, you know what I mean, because you sitting there having a conversation and you go right to some fuckery, you know what I mean, like that's where your mind went. And he was talking to a Latina, you know what I mean, like a Hispanic woman, you know what I mean. But even her, like, she was on that podcast and she was talking about a lot of stuff, and I think she was even like mentioning certain things that were not even factual and shit like that. She was just bringing random ass topics and shit like that, you know what I mean, and trying to make it factual. And it's like that was kind of weird too, So it goes to show like his podcast isn't very valid, you know what I mean. They just be talking about like anything on that motherfucker, and you know, he was just on some, you know, some super disrespectful shit, and I feel like that's definitely not the way to go about that. You know what I mean? If it's really about uniting people, which is not on his end, obviously, you know what I mean? A lot of them, I'm gonna keep it a buck. A lot of them Hispanic platforms, like Food Community and all them, like they're predominantly only trying to promote their own people. You feel me? And if you go look at my page, you know what I mean, I've always supported everybody. You know what I mean? I could give a fuck what you is. You know what I mean? Like black, white, yellow, crip, blood essay. Like I could give a fuck, you know what I mean? Like I'm right here trying to put on the city, promoting people, you know what I mean? Trying to uplift the culture type shit. But you got a lot of people out here that try to put barriers in between things like oh lucky, you know what I mean? But on this episode is when his luck run out, you know what I mean? Because he be ducking that fade from multiple people talking, you know, oh, I'll catch you in the street, this and that, or catch me in the streets. But it's like, brother, y'all both from whole different communities and places. Like, it's probably never gonna happen like that. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of scared activity because a motherfucker confronting you like a man and you kind of backpedaling and running. And he was actually trying to line up a boxing match, put some money into it and all that. Like, let's do it I guess that way. You know what I mean? And Lucky didn't want to do that, but to me, it's more or less running from the situation because, like I said, they come from two complete different places. So the chances of them running into each other and all that shit, nah. Now if they dropping pins, if they dropping pins and they saying, "Hey man, like let's link up this and that," then that's a whole nother story. But that's not happening. They're trying to do a boxing match or catch you in the streets or this and that. Like, bro, that's clown shit. You know what I mean? But at least the dude from 40s and the dude from I think it was where was he from Hoover or some shit, I forgot where it was from. At least they was like, what I mean, trying to do something about it, you know what I mean? Like in the sense of like, let's figure it out type shit. But that fool Lucky, he ain't been with all that, you know what I mean? If anything, he's on like that scared activity, you know what I mean? Be with like 30 motherfuckers every day, you know what I mean? Like whatever, right? Like I don't know, but it kind of goes to show you like how certain people stand as men. You know what I mean? Like you're willing to go on your podcast and talk all that, downplay Blueface and another race or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's different to react to something, to put the game out there and then wake people up to certain things like say the Blueface tat. Yeah, man, we need to wake people up that that's not a good tattoo to go get and shit. It has no real meaning type shit. You know what I mean? It's not anything. So yeah, it's good to put it out there to wake people up, but to straight up like disrespect motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Just because a girl mentioned another motherfucker and then you decided to say like some crazy off the wall stuff. You know what I mean? And me personally, you know what I mean? I stand up for just, the people, you know what I mean? It don't matter if you, like I said, black, white, Asian, you know what I mean, Mexican, it don't matter, you know what I mean? With whatever needs to be stood on a solid ground, you feel me? Then that's what we got to stand on, you know what I mean? And a lot of people take away morals and values out of things, you know what I mean? And they try to add their own, but that's not how it works, you know what I mean? Like, but old boy really like kind of like messed up on saying that shit because you know it's like if you had like African Americans, black people like really fucking with your shit on your shit, they might not be there now. You know what I mean? Because it's like, why would you go and say that? Because I'm sure a lot of black motherfuckers when they heard that they was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like they might have been watching that shit and heard that shit like, what the fuck? Like this boy just said some super off the wall shit, right? So you know Lucky need to check himself as a man because that's definitely not how you're supposed to stand. You feel me? That's not standing 10 toes flat. You know what I mean? You standing on one foot and all that. You know what I mean? And that's just what that comes down to. You feel me? Like period. You feel me? Like you know what I mean? Like, and in that conversation, you wasn't trying to uplift nobody. You wasn't trying to, what I mean, give no valid points. Like, you were just trying to. That's a definition of motherfucker just straight up hating. You feel me? Like, there ain't nothing to obtain from the fucking information. Like, motherfucker was just on that bitch hating. And I think it's kind of funny though how people are really trying to run off that narrative of, oh, it was a joke, like, you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, the fuck? Like, that ain't no fucking joke, fool. Like, just because it came from a movie, like, are people that like slow and narrow minded that they think just because something came off a movie that it's valid now, that you could just go and say some shit and then say, oh, it came on? Nah, homie. Like, digest the conversation that you was having and then see how you reacted to certain things when she says certain things. And yeah, you could have did that to go viral or try to go viral or some shit, right? Okay, maybe, who knows, who gives a fuck, right? But it's like, you said what you said and that shit was crazy, you know what I mean, to say that shit. So, we bringing back what's real, and what gets attention and like views and numbers, like, that shit isn't a thing no more, you know what I mean? It's all about like keeping it 100. You feel me? Standing on them morals and values, standing on that solid ground. And if you can't, ain't no sense to be out here doing what you do. You know what I mean? Stay. I don't know. Go back to your day job and all that. I don't fucking know. But yeah, man, that shit for sure was uncalled for though, you know what I mean? Old boy didn't have to say what he said, you feel me? And clearly he said it out of like some type of hate, resentment, in the sense of like, fuck this fool, because those are the only type of thoughts that could come to your head when another person mentions that. And see, the only reason why he said that is because if it wasn't a female and it was a dude, they wouldn't be talking about that. No dude is gonna be on there talking about Blueface. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows, like, don't talk about all that. We don't care about all that over here. So because the female decided to bring it up, it was like, oh shit, and it's a female. You know what I mean? So like, how people egotistical and shit. So he kicked right into his ego mode on some fucking, oh, Blueface this and that. Oh, you think he's a good looking dude? Like, why would you even? Why would you even ask if he? Oh, so you think he a good looking dude? Like, why the fuck is that even in the conversation? That shit weird. Like, why would you even say that shit? Like, that shit is weird as fuck. Oh, so you think he's a good looking dude? Like you jealous of some shit that she just said he's hot. That's wild. And then he's like, oh, da da da. What he said, like, crazy work, fool. Like, that's crazy, fool. So people could choose to be kind of slow all day, but I mean, if you just think about what's being said and what it is, then you know that, I guess you could be narrow minded about it and say, oh, da, da, da. Nah, homie. See, people, they try to figure ways out of things, you know what I mean? So that's their figuring a way out, you know what I mean? It's like, and they all are, doing that together because they know, like, oh, we could just all get together and say that. But that gives you an example of how people operate and rock, you feel me? Like, they all get together, you feel me? Da, 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 like, on some whole shit, you feel me? Hey, man. Hey, man, motherfuckers be hoes out here. Let's keep it a bug, fool. Like, Lucky, he a hoe. He blocked me. He blocked me on Instagram just because, you feel me? Like, I was roasting his bitch ass, and I was just letting him know something too. You feel me? But I wasn't letting him know nothing about no fucking video shit, no interview, nigga. That boy ducking shit, nigga. He been ducking shit, nigga. Fuck's you talking about, nigga? A lot of motherfuckers be ducking shit, fool. Man, a lot of these motherfuckers be ducking that taco, you feel me? That soft taco, you feel me? Stop playing. Yeah, man, motherfuckers ain't like that. Man, that boy a hoe. Let's keep it a buck, you know what I mean? So like, there's gonna be times that we gotta, stand up for this side, that side, over there, over here, because we standing on what it is. You feel me? Not like, oh, we gonna choose a side because these are my people and all that. That's what people do. You know what I mean? Now, homie, if you stand on what it is, you gotta be real. You know what I mean? And come to something. You feel me? Like, you can't just be like choosing side like a female or whatever. You know what I mean? And then like using, like, hella people to like either hate on a motherfucker or like jump a motherfucker, whatever it is, right? Like it's all some whole shit to me, you know what I mean? Like it don't matter what it is, though. Like a strong individual, you know what I mean? Too, he go stand alone. You feel me? Like a motherfucker strong, like he don't need all that shit. You know what I mean? Like that shit sound dumb as hell. You know what I mean? Like motherfuckers be just scared moving around this bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Like that shit just weird, fool. So it just like all like I didn't really respect Lucky though because that boy always been taking my flow, taking my you know what I mean my creativity. That boy even did a little shitty ass hood vlog in a place I was gonna do one, but over there their OG was hating like a bitch at that time too. You feel me? Because their little homie hit me up from Boys, and he was like trying to do the hood vlog, and then they ended up doing it with old Lucky. And at that time, it was all good. I made a video on it too. Showed love, whatever, right? Because that's what I do. But I knew that he just did it to milk off of my shit because I already had the motion flowing. And why would you come to my city where I'm at, homie, and do, you know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Weirdo shit, you feel me? That's like me going to LA and doing a bunch of fucking hood vlogs over there, you know what I mean? Like, nah, homie, like, I put on for, wherever I'm at, you feel me? I could go to LA, do a hood vlog, you feel me? I just never give a fuck, you feel me? Like, never gave a fuck, you feel me? Like, what people don't realize too is I did so much work in LA as a kid, and I worked with a lot of people from everywhere. Whenever I came back to the scene in 2019, I worked with people from all over the place. You know what I mean? Different states and all that, like in LA too. But whenever I was promoting it and in the city and all that, I was just promoting people from right here. I was going to studios out here. I went to LA for shows so many times, but I wasn't like going hard. Like whenever I was a kid, I was promoting a lot of LA artists, and I was going to LA a lot with my camera and all that shit. But whenever I came back to the scene, like I was just trying to put on for this side type shit. You feel me? This watered down boo boo ass side. Which OC man, that shit watered down, but that's because the people water it down. You know what I mean? Yeah, motherfuckers out here they water their own shit down. You know what I mean? And then they complain about it later, like how come my shit watered down? Ha, boy, a lot of them boys from OC, man, their shit done for you. Feel me? Like you don't even know who the fuck they are anymore. You feel me? You only knew them from Kshotem. Let's keep it a buck. You feel me? Let's keep it a buck. You feel me? So yeah, man. Yeah, man. That boy watered the fuck down. You know what I mean? Their music was never really that good, anyways. You know what I mean? I just try to help motherfuckers out. You know what I mean? Try to show them a couple new things. You feel me? But a lot of motherfuckers are haters. You feel me? Like they rather hate on some shit than elevate. You feel me? They rather be in their feelings than elevate on some shit. You feel me? Anything I ever did, I elevated. You know what I mean? I don't fucking shit everything. You know what I mean? Like every move I ever made, I seen something come from it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people sometimes it may not even be bread. It may not even be money, and a lot of people are fixated on it too. Like if it ain't money, then it ain't nothing came from it, and it's like somewhat true, but at the same time, when you set your mind to something and then you see it happen in front of you, you know what I mean? It's like you made it happen. You brought it to reality type shit. You know what I mean? So I think that's an accomplishment. That's some shit that money cannot buy either. You know what I mean? That's some shit that you prove to yourself. And anything I learned in life is all about what you prove to yourself. You know what I mean? So when you're like that, you got shit to stand on. You got shit to prove. You feel me? Like you ain't just talking about nothing. You know what I mean? That's why everything you see me do, I went and did it. You know what I mean? I said I'm gonna get the backdrop. I went and got the backdrop. I said I'm gonna, go get gold fingers, whatever. I go and got it. Tattoos. I went and got because now it's a lifestyle, right? Like everything that you see, the stash too. I went and got it. You know what I mean? But I'm not. I'm just saying, like that's how you live through action, though. You know what I mean? That's how you be valid out here. You know what I mean? It's through action, and a lot of people they just like to talk about things. Yeah, they just like to talk about things. You know what I mean? And that's why I can't be around a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because they're not about manifesting their reality. You know what I mean? Like bringing out them thoughts into what it really is in reality. And drawing is a good example of that. You know what I mean? Drawing is a good example of that because drawing, you literally do that. You know what I mean? You're creating shit from your mind, like, and bringing it to a visual, a real aspect, right? Then you put it on what, a shirt or anything else. Yeah, like you really, you know what I mean, for sure. Like, yeah, so you know, those are the things to live for, though. I feel like, you know what I mean, because a motherfucker could think about and talk about shit all day, but it's like he ain't never did nothing. He ain't never moving on nothing. He ain't never fulfilling nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like a waste of a thought to put in your head. Like, but if you can figure out how to make shit happen, but see, when you figure out how to make shit happen too, it's like some shit that is happening without you knowing it's happening. You know what I mean? Because now you just living for a result, right? So when you living for a result, it's like shit just happens. You feel me? So if you do something, you see something come from it, and you do more of it, you know something more is gonna come from it, right? So there you go. So that's how I live my life every day. You know what I mean? I see what's this, what's that, what's this, what's that. But I keep it 100 though. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing is keeping it 100 is gonna, it's always a better way. Because people could, run from the real shit. They could throw whatever out there to try to cover up or throw people off of this or that. But at the end of the day, when you being 100, like that's some shit people they know. They could say whatever they say, but they know it. You feel me? So that's always a better way to go about shit. You know what I mean? Because anybody gonna say anything about anything. You know what I mean? But when it's a valid thing that's like right in front of their face, like it's a little different. You know what I mean? Like say like this art in my room, right? Like I drew this shit, put it on the wall, right? That's like, that's an action, you could see, it came from me, right? It's like you know this couch I put in here and shot hella interviews, right? Because it's an action, right? Like I have this magazine on the wall right here because I really did that whenever I was 15, right? Got my shit in a magazine, took YG's photos, did all type shit, right? As a kid. But I really did that, right? But you see, everything you see coming from me, it's a valid thing. So I don't really be playing about shit, really, right? Yeah, I don't really be playing. You know what I mean? It may seem like I'm playing sometimes, you know what I mean, but I really ain't. Um, you know, yeah, yeah, man. How y'all doing today, though, man? Like, I just be cooling right now, but shit. What's the word? What's the spill? You know what I mean? What's the feel? You feel me? Like, I was actually in the middle of cleaning my room up a little bit. You feel me? Because this bitch kind of got a couple things laying around. You feel me? Like over here, over there. You feel me? I want to straighten this bitch up. Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. I'm gonna keep it a bug. Like the reason I haven't been live too is because I've been on this one other platform doing the live. I don't really want to give away the platform because it's kind of low key right now. You know what I mean? Like don't nobody really be on that shit like that. But there are people on there watching. You know what I mean? And yeah, man. Hey, I was even thinking about going on my Instagram live today. You feel me? Cooking up a video type shit. You feel me? Yeah, man. Like, you thinking about cooking up that video for? I might do it right now. Shit. You know what I mean?